Hello, I'm Joe from WhatCulture.com and welcome to a special episode of the podcast. Now, as people are aware, we normally intend to do a preview of a pay-per-view, but as I'm sure the two men joining me today will test to, there's not been a chance to breathe in order to do a preview of TLC, and it'll be pretty pointless doing one now. So we're going to do a review of TLC. So welcome to the pay-per-view review podcast as a one-off. And I am joined by my colleagues from the Raw live stream team. I'm joined by Adam Blampied.
Hello.
Who sounds very, very tired.
I'm knackered, mate.
And I'm joined by Jack the Jobber.
Hello, you could call it ReLC. There you go.
What?
ReLC.
Jack's already paid for himself.
Reviewing.
Jack, how are you feeling after last night? We've established that Blampied is knackered.
I'm knackered as well, but looking forward to Raw as ever.
Boy howdy!
Boy howdy, that's my thing.
Best thing is, it's not coming off any of the exciting stuff that happened at TLC, so it really is just your run. It's not even a go-home show, it's your run-of-the-mill Raw. Great stuff.
Anyway,
Happy
let's look back at TLC from Dallas last night. It was okay. It was the epitome of a B standard pay-per-view, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel bad when the B shows, like, they have big gimmicks involved because the risks for the wrestlers are higher and the atmosphere is more dull, and it basically just normalizes all the chair shots and ladder shots and everything that they're really hurting themselves
Apparently
to do.
the Tron broke as well, which really took the atmosphere out of a lot of the crowd.
Really?
Like the Tron broke and only came back midway through the show, like midway through apparently Kalisto Corbin. I read this somewhere.
Isn't the Tron always, like, broken as in it just showed a...
The Tron was skipping frames apparently.
Oh, really?
You would think that with the amount of money that WWE's tech team and production team get paid, they would be able to keep that stuff together. I mean, the Tron broke. If you look at NXT last week, the apron broke, which isn't the first time I've seen that recently at a wrestling show.
I just think, considering our last two pay-per-views, I'm just going to not rag on other people's technical issues.
Since becoming involved with WCPW, I've kind of learned that it's actually quite hard. It's actually quite...
really hard.
But yeah...
Try setting up a steel cage, boys. That's all I'm going to say.
I watched while he set up the steel cage.
Oh, he watched.
You did a good job. It was great.
Sure did.
You weren't there, man.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I was there watching.
Look, he had his ear bitten off by Matt Hardy,
That's
right?
right,
He bled for this company.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, TLC was fine. It was fine. I enjoyed it. The crowd being very subdued hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard to get into a match when you can just see rows and rows and rows of people sitting down, looking glum. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe, like you said, like maybe the Tron had something to do with it. Maybe the fact that there wasn't much build, and all, maybe it's pay-per-view fatigue. But there was just something missing.
There was a lot of crowd reactions. Like if you look at some of the replays, like
what was that about?
During the action, there was a lot of crowd reactions.
What was that about?
That's just what they're doing now. It's this weird kind of new artistic.
But there was like 3 or 4 for every match.
It'll last for a couple of months and it'll go away.
So Botchamania Matthew tweets something like, "Stop showing replays of crowd reactions. This isn't the photographs after Space Mountain or something like that. It's not the photographs of the Disney roller coaster."
But yeah, let's talk about the actual wrestling that took place last night. We're going to open with what TLC opened with. And that was a match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships between Heath Slater and Rhino and the Wyatt family.
It was really short.
It was. It seemed like the match lost about 5 minutes.
I genuinely thought that Heath Slater might have been injured at some point, but just because it ended so abruptly. But, it was good, and it's nice to see Bray holding gold, or silver, blue and silver.
It's about time. I was quoted as being wrong on the whole Husky Harris held the tag team title thing, and I may have been wrong, but this is definitely Bray Wyatt's first sort of championship in the current incarnation. Bit weird that it's with Randy Orton. Very unexpected, but hopefully this enhances the storyline a little bit.
Enhances the belt.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Where do we think Heath Slater and Rhino go from here? Is this the end of this tag team? Do we see them hanging around a little bit?
I'd like to see him hang around. Quite like somehow Heath to get fired again. Just because I thought that was stuff that was doing wonders for him. Like as soon as they became tag champs, they just sort of became a bit dull. But I don't know. I haven't been watching enough of SmackDown just because I watch Raw every week.
Hey,
with my best friend Jack the Jobber.
From WhatCulture, I think it was an alright match, but I don't know. It was too quick, and I'd have liked to have seen Heath and Rhino put up a bit more of a fight because they're baby faces, and you want to see them like battle a bit more. But Orton and Wyatt are so far above, are so portrayed as so much stronger than them. It did make sense for it to not last that long as well.
Yeah, I mean, like in a match with Heath Slater versus Randy Orton, it was as quick as you kind of expected it to be.
Yeah,
it was fine. I can't remember anything that happened other than Luke Harper took a spear.
He saved him from a goal.
Now, this for me, I watched this morning. We're recording this on the Monday, the day after TLC, and I watched this morning in the office. And for me, there seems to be a really good spot in every match. And the spot that I noticed in this match was Heath Slater trying to leap over the ropes to attack Orton. And Orton catches him and hits him with a power slam. I thought that was just great.
I just can't remember it.
It seemed a very spot-filled evening, but not for the sort of worse. It was a very good sort of spot-filled evening.
Yeah. Randy Orton's just one of the most... I got a lot of flack for suggesting this on Twitter. One of the most underrated of all time. He is marvellous in the ring. He's
12-time world champion underrated.
Yeah, look, no, but by the fans, because we're like, oh, Randy Orton, he's boring. He's fantastic in the ring. What an astonishing wrestler. What an astonishing sports entertainer he is.
Right. He is. I know, like
mechanically superb.
He doesn't always thrill. Because sometimes he just,
He's not a thrill seeker. He's not Lance Storm.
No, that's true. Or Chris
Jericho.
My favourite Randy Orton power slam of recent times was where he countered a Rolling Thunder from RVD into a power slam.
Oh, it was brilliant.
That was really good.
That's
just why.
Yeah, I feel like the correct team's won. It frees Rhino up in case he's got any of his political commitments to deal with.
Yes.
And it'll be interesting to see Heath as a bit of a singles competitor for now, if Rhino does indeed step back for a few months.
It'd be interesting to see, how they deal with Heath now, considering like his stock's been raised, definitely.
I think the belt should be kept on the Wyatt family until WrestleMania at the bare minimum. But one thing that's going to be interesting, we saw Luke Harper do a fair bit of posing with the belts. Do we think the Freebird rule is going to be enforced?
Possibly.
Which would make Raw and SmackDown's tag team champions Freebirds.
Are Randy Orton and Luke having a bit of a tiff?
Luke doesn't trust him as a member of the Wyatt family. Sure. None of this has been said, but it's all through body language. They all stare at each other after matches, and Harper's like, "Ooh, you're not like us. You're not."
You haven't got a
beard. You're pretty. What?
You weigh less than 300 pounds.
But Orton doesn't seem to care that much. Like he's kind of just doing his Randy Orton thing, where he's,
So I'm guessing this isn't a long-term plan.
I still think Randy's got a plan. I think he's the man with the plan. I think he's still a secret babyface.
You do keep saying that.
He's the man with the plan. He is. He's the Brian Kendrick. Well, what's he got going for him?
Nothing now.
Nothing now.
Oh yeah. That's sad. I wish he'd kept. Randy Orton's now the new man with the plan.
Sure. Okay.
Let us move on to Nikki Bella versus Carmella in a no disqualification match. It was nice to see a no disqualification match rule being utilised for more than just a low blow, which doesn't. Well, I suppose it works for these two, but.
Glad the referee was counting though when they were outside the ring.
No, I totally disagree.
What the hell? No, yeah, me too. I was being sarcastic. It was silly. It was so stupid. I was quite cross.
No disqualification. The ring announcer clearly states that anything goes. Yeah, the referee was counting. Do your job right, ref. Do your job right.
Silly, wasn't it?
It's nice to see a really long fire extinguisher spot back.
Yeah.
Like, that's classic. That's like Bruno Sammartino. It's good to see that again.
It's Bruno Sammartino. They were loving that.
Do you remember?
Sammartino
and Zbyszko, where he would just...
I remember them
for days.
I remember them trading super kicks and like shooting star presses, and then they both backflipped into the ring and posed like, on the floor, and all the crowd were going, "We're from London." Yeah, well, that's not a jibe anyway. I'm just saying that's a sort of London style, isn't it? At the minute. Brick-less.
It's going to be good to be back in London in March.
Oh yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
it's going to be really good.
No, I like that style of wrestling. It's thrilling, but that's not what we saw.
I thought Nikki Bella versus Carmella was a bit bad.
It was the quintessential toilet break, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it's just like...
Which is a shame.
I thought they gave him slightly enough stuff. I just thought it was just a bit. It just wasn't. It didn't quite.
And the ending of the match is one that is up for debate as well. We have seen that Carmella has fessed up that it wasn't her that attacked Nikki at Survivor Series. It was in fact, or supposedly, Natalya.
Yeah, I don't. That was a bit poor. Like the whole, Carmella she got beat, coughing and spluttering because of all the fire extinguisher noxious fumes that she's inhaled, which will probably have lingering side effects for years.
To be fair, apparently on commentary, which we didn't hear because we were talking, as we for our jobs.
Yeah.
JBL really put over the fact that you can't breathe when you're sprayed with a fire extinguisher, and that would have made it harder for it to kick out, which is all right,
Sure.
Science.
Sure, I guess.
I'm just not too sure what I think about the whole Nikki Bella Natalya thing.
I thought it was quite. Of all the avenues they could have gone down, I think they chose the least thrilling one. Carmella randomly cutting a promo afterwards saying, "By the way, apropos of nothing, I didn't attack you. It was Natalya." I just thought, look, is Nikki Bella not going to beat that information out of her, or hose it out of her? Carmella just volunteered the information randomly. Maybe the person who attacked Nikki should have interfered in the match, maybe, or something, or attacked her on the ramp. It's just it was just a random promo that. It's just of all the things they could have done.
It
Do you think
was.
they were expecting the crowd to be like, "It was Natalya, no way, what? Oh, no!"
It
Instead,
was
they went,
not helped by Natalya's promo, in my opinion. Natalya was asked, "Was it you?" "No, I don't lie because I'm not a liar."
Well, she's Canadian. She's got honour. She's a heart.
That's true.
Yeah, she's also got a very poor scriptwriter behind her as well.
Whoa.
I'm not lying because I'm not a liar.
Yeah, it's not great.
That's like saying I tell the truth because I'm a truth teller.
The story adds up. On both sides of it, yeah, the evidence is all there. She's not a liar, so how could she lie?
Normally,
liars are the people who lie.
That's right.
Normally, I'd say let's see where this story goes, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over this. I'm not going to lie.
No, it's sad.
Who do you think attacked Nikki Bella, Jack? Who?
Oh, Lesnar.
Yeah.
I will say one thing. They're really in
It's
the match.
the beginning of a psychopathic turn after losing to
Nikki
Goldberg
found out
in
about
86
the affair
seconds.
between Brock and
The match wasn't that good, but they did really try and sell the hatred for each other. You thought, oh, these two really don't like each other. There was a lot of and a lot of oh.
Yeah, it sounds like that.
It's true.
Yeah, there was a lot of shouting, a lot of snarling, a lot of weaponry. I thought, it was the worst match on the
Lots
show.
of angriness.
But they sold the hatred well.
Yeah, and again, it didn't help that the crowd didn't care.
Yes,
Yeah. From one women's title match, we are going to look at another, and that was for the SmackDown Women's Championship between Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss in a tables match. Now, I must admit, I was a little bit skeptical when I heard that this was going to be a tables match. I knew they had to put a tables match on the card, but I was a little bit skeptical when I heard this was going to be the match, and it wasn't too bad, if I'm being perfectly honest.
It's all right.
It was all right.
I didn't hugely like it. I didn't like either of the women's matches on the show, to be honest. And that's not, obviously not. But yeah, I just thought
I think the point that Mr. Blampied is trying to get
really work
across.
well.
I think the point he's trying to get across is that women can wrestle. Just on this particular night, they weren't the most enthralling matches.
Those two matches, just for me, were just a little bit of all the matches on the card. They just didn't click.
Yeah,
the chemistry was off. Them not having any crowd support hurt both, and yeah, I just don't like neither match really made me lean forward. I like the ending. I like the surprise bang through the table. I thought that was good.
Yeah, I would have preferred to see the Sparkle / Bliss / spinny turnaround half moonsault slam splash thing.
Twisted Bliss.
Yeah. That's what it was.
It was the Sparkle Splash, wasn't it, back in the day?
It used to be called the Sparkle Splash.
But it's now Twisted Bliss. Yeah. I would have liked to have seen Twisted Bliss through a table to win the match, but maybe that's me just wanting to see flippy stuff.
Yeah, it might have been two-face.
Veda would hate me.
Her sneaking a win out of nowhere. It suits the table.
She's girl Sheamus now. She's girl Sheamus.
She is girl Sheamus.
She is girl Sheamus.
Sheamus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. This is also another NXT graduate winning a major championship, and she's one of the youngest to do so. She's only 25.
Wow.
I got a message
from Alexa Bliss.
No, not from her. From a fan on Twitter. The belt's bigger than her. I can't take this seriously.
5 feet fury.
It is a big belt on this.
But I personally think the right person won in this match again. And it's going to be interesting to see where this does go. I think there's one more match between the two. Becky's got to have a rematch.
I think it would have probably, for me, I think it would have complemented things if Becky had had a really long reign to sort of counterbalance Becky and Sasha. I would have preferred Becky to keep the belt, to be honest.
The reign started at Backlash, didn't it? And it's gone 3 months, but it's only had 1 or 2 title defenses.
As I was saying to Joe earlier, I think that Becky's always the one who's like, out of the 4 horsewomen, Charlotte and Sasha are looking really strong on Raw. Bayley looked really strong in NXT. Becky's always been the weakest of the 4 in kayfabe.
She's just got,
she
had
tapped
the
out
less,
of Mania. And it would have been great to see her have like a long babyface kind of fighting championship reign.
It's been her thing. Like, she hasn't had a thing, really. Like,
She's pretty. She's beautiful.
Who, Becky or Alexa?
Well, they're both.
Both.
Becky's thing's that she's like the queen of my heart. So.
Yeah, that's her gimmick.
That's okay.
Does a Becky defeat here, followed by defeating the rematch, because I still believe there's one coming. Does that set up the 4 horsewomen match at WrestleMania? Let's think about it. How do you further emphasize the biggest WrestleMania of all time, where you can have potential Balor return, either Joe Nakamura going up to the main roster, potentially Owens as champion, potentially Styles or Taker as champion, and Taker's last match? How do you make that WrestleMania bigger? Throw the 4 horsewomen in there. So does Becky's defeat here set that up?
Maybe. It's a match I really want to see.
Yeah.
Just because it's a match that it's so organically written and stuff. I don't really want people to be zapping across the brand split so soon, like less than a year into it.
Yeah.
I can wait for the 4 horsemen, to be honest, because I think if you've got Taker's last match, that's WrestleMania sold.
You could have an inter-brand one. Like, you don't need to put all the 4 horsewomen on one roster, on one brand.
Yeah. Feels a bit weird that it's 3 from Raw and 1 from SmackDown.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The only solution to that would be to put Bayley over on SmackDown, because I don't really, unless they do a loser leaves Raw match between Charlotte and Sasha. So let us keep an eye peeled. What's that look for, Jack? Jack's just giving me a very suspicious look here.
Nothing.
No, go on.
That was my point from earlier. It doesn't matter.
Wait a minute.
It's just the way you said it. You delivered it like, say they could have a loser leaves Raw match with the. I told you that minutes ago.
It's not recorded, so
You guys.
admittedly, that is Jack's point.
You guys have been discussing this before I turned up.
You were in a meeting,
I was.
a very long one, I may add.
Oh my god.
But I hate to say this, but let's see what happens. I hate to say it. Let's see what happens, because I keep saying it.
See what happens.
Let's see what happens.
It's like your thing.
It is what it is.
It is
what it is. The wrestling. The wrestling.
Moving on to my favourite match of the night, and I definitely didn't think I was going to be saying that at the start of this event.
If you're about to say Kalisto versus Baron Corbin, I'm going to slap you.
I'd love to see you try and slap me.
Why is it your favourite match of the night? It's the best chairs match has ever been.
Because
that really is.
I think it was because I
praise.
wasn't expecting much from it, because it has that stipulation behind it.
Sure, but not being
and it blew me.
disappointed.
Yeah, but
It was a fun
it
match.
seemed active. It seemed
Things going
fun. Both men looked good
I
coming
enjoyed it
out
more
of
than the main event.
Oh, I had a.
What spoiled
Right, mate.
We'll get on to why
spoiled
this-
the
we'll get
main
on to what
event
happened in the
we'll
main event, yeah.
discuss in a little bit. But I really enjoyed the Corbin Kalisto chairs match. Of the 7 that has been in WWE, I haven't been able to say that. So I thought both men looked really good. I think Kalisto looked great, having come off of injury, and Corbin got a win that he desperately needed, coming off the disappointment at Survivor Series.
What did? Because I mixed this up earlier with the thing that Ambrose did on AJ Styles, where he did like the kind of the Phoenix. Adam, I'm asking you, Adam, friend.
Yes, mate.
What did you know when they built like the chair stack in both those matches?
Yes.
And Ambrose did that flippy thing where he slammed AJ on he like flipped him out.
Yeah.
What did
It was
what did
almost
Corbin,
like
what did Corbin and Kalisto do? Because I can't remember what they did. They had the same setup.
Kalisto did a seated senton onto 6
chairs.
chairs.
Oh, that was nice.
Where Ambrose did almost like an Adam Cole last shot.
Where he just like lifted him in.
Where he just lifted him, but without the knee across the neck. Another...
Didn't Pachi say it was like a Pearl River plunge, but without the pearls or the river? Or the plunging? I can't remember last night.
Another really good spot from this pay-per-view took place in this match where Kalisto goes for the Tope Suicida.
Tope Suicida!
And gets countered into a quite delectable deep 6 on the outside.
That was great. That was horrible.
Was awesome. Oh. It looked nasty, but it was awesome. And like I say, perfect ending for Corbin, who can now hopefully move on from beating up little men and go for something a little bit bigger.
Beat up some medium-sized men. Let's go.
Where's way up the ladder, Jeff?
Yeah.
I do want to see him just be a random, like through an administrative error, it's all the cruiserweights and him on 205 Live, and he's really grumpy the whole time.
Do we think 205 Live is where Kalisto's heading, or is there still potential for him on SmackDown?
I think he'd probably do better stuff on 205 Live. I think we'd get to know him if he was on 205 Live. I still don't know who Kalisto is, other than Plucky.
He's so plucky.
And not injured
He's an
anymore.
ex-US champion.
Twice.
True.
Twice.
And a former NXT Tag Team Champion. But
he's held more gold than Bray Wyatt by far.
He has,
which is horrifying. Shall we talk about what your favourite match of the night was?
Yeah, my favourite match of the night was the main event with AJ
Styles.
Well, we're not going to talk about that yet.
We're
not going to talk about that yet.
I was misleading. I thought you were going to say this one was your favourite. Because this was really good as well.
Let's talk about the ladder match between Dolph Ziggler and The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. It was really good.
I like seeing Dolph Ziggler in ladder matches.
I thought both men looked great. They're continuing this run of doing the best work that they've ever done. I said this on Twitter earlier on, but if you told me a few years ago that The Miz was legitimately up for Superstar of the Year this year, I'd have laughed you out the building. But he has produced some of the best work he has ever done.
He did amazing Talking Smack.
I haven't seen that yet. It was good.
Catch it, yeah. They do a weird thing at the end, but
the figure 4 in the ladder looked great. It looked horrible. It made Miz look like a badass. One thing that, in fact, you know what, Jack? I'm going to let you mention this point as an apology. It was the point with Miz and Maurice and the lack of interference.
Well, I thought Maurice not getting involved made Miz look really strong, which is good because Maurice has bailed him out on a number of occasions over the past few months. And this time she didn't. She just kind of looked worried on the outside. Yeah. And the fact that Miz, he looked strong and intelligent because he worked the leg, and then
he worked the balls.
He booted the leg. The leg on the balls. Right.
He definitely worked the balls.
It was the leg on the balls. He was a heel, and then he was a clever heel. So I'm sure the first one was in the balls, the second one was in the leg. I'm sure that's what happened.
Sure.
There is
Message him, did he hit him in the balls or the leg?
There is a colleague of ours desperately trying to open a packet of apples. Quiet. Just go for it, Ben. Just
did Miz hit Ziggler in the balls or the leg?
I don't know, I haven't seen it.
Right, never mind.
I'm a normal human being who sleeps at night.
Right. Thanks, Ben.
You can catch Ben on the WhatCulture Gaming channel if you are that way inclined.
His Twitter handle is @ConfusedDude, if I'm not mistaken.
Thanks.
Cheap plug, Ben. Cheap plug. Is this the last time we're going to watch Miz versus Ziggler? They were hyping on commentary as the final chapter in this rivalry.
Yeah,
as we know, a final chapter in any rivalry in WWE can go on for another 3 years.
That being said, the final chapter of Zayn Owens was the final chapter. So I think if they're... I think it probably should be.
Yeah. I'd agree. Yeah.
I really like it when The Miz said he was... day 17 into the greatest champion reign of all time. That was really funny. I'd quite like to see Miz hold the belt forever.
He's really good with it.
He's really good. It's perfect belt for him.
And I hope that both men get strong showings in the Rumble.
Yes. I mean, that would probably be the time for them to come back to blows.
Number 1 and number 2.
Yeah.
Miz and Ziggler. And watch them both go for 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Have them both be Iron Man.
Have Ziggler, be really knackered and, get kicked all over the place. And have Miz, hide for a bit. And it's the dichotomy, it's the difference. One's a good guy, one's a bad guy. It's the old tale, face and heel. What am I doing? I'm so tired.
Good versus evil.
Yeah.
A tale as old as time.
Now we're finally going to talk about the match that Blampied wants to talk about. Do you want to introduce
Oh,
this
sorry
match,
for
Adam?
wanting to talk about the main event, guys. This is definitely the match of the night. Ignore what Simkins is saying. This is really, really great. Like this is the only thing that made it feel like properly like a pay-per-view to me. I mean, Corbin and Kalisto was a good match. Miz versus Ziggler was a great match. But this was like proper main event quality. Like, AJ Styles is best in the world. Best in the world.
He's
best
ludicrous
in the world.
to get. Ludicrous.
Unbelievably so. I'm pissed off that he won via Ellsworth. Especially if...
Hold that thought, we're going to talk about that.
But I thought he did amazingly. The 450 through a table on the outside is the best spot, I think, of the year.
Whoa there, friendo.
What's better?
Me get into the...
In WWE, there are very few spots that come close to
In
us.
terms of just sheer, this is an
This
awesome
year.
spot, but
Yeah.
there have been spots that have been more meaningful.
Sure. Oh yeah, like stuff like Sami Zayn hitting Owens with the second.
Yeah,
and stuff.
but yeah, in terms of, like-
storytelling, but in terms of
Wow,
I
that's
can't
awesome.
believe
Yeah.
that just happened, especially because of the fact that he could have killed himself.
Yeah. He also did another one of the best ones of the year when he did the phenomenal forearm through the announce table on Roman Reigns, I think
that
it
was
was.
great.
It
Yeah.
really good as well.
First of all, Bluntly, I didn't say that this match wasn't the best match of the night. I just said it wasn't my favourite. For what it's worth, in terms of
I believe the term was match of the night.
no, I said that the Corbin and Kalisto was my favourite one of the night. I've even got the jobber backing me up on this one.
My God. I'm outnumbered.
But in terms of quality of wrestling, I do agree with you. This is the match of the night. Styles is just so good. What more can we say?
Ambrose did well. Did the
yeah,
elbow drop
both-
off the ladder. That was great.
Both men put in a good shift, but Styles is proving why he's one of the best in the world.
It's because he's just realised that moves are easy, and when you say that and you believe it, then they are. You can just do them.
And he did all of this with a giant hole in his arse.
Ben, what did you think of the main event?
I've already said I haven't seen it, Adam.
Yeah, he's not
Oh,
saying
you haven't seen it.
Run away, avoid spoilers.
I don't care anymore.
Oh,
I work here. I knew what I was signing up for.
you sound despondent.
That is the WhatCulture gaming channel if you want to see men who just don't care anymore. That's where you can get that content.
Let's talk about the big no-chinned elephant in the room.
James
Ellsworth.
Or James Hellsworth, as he should be known now that he's bad.
Or games, Hellsworth, because he's playing mind games with
I
the
thought
lad.
you were going to say he's bad because he's gay.
No.
Games Ellsworth.
No. Being gay is not bad. What? No.
Um,
I'm not
is-
a monster. What are you on about?
That's why I was surprised.
Moving
That's
away
not the Jack
from-
the jobber I know and love.
I'm a very
Moving-
liberal man.
Yeah.
Shut up!
Whoa! What's going on?
Moving away from cheap puns, do we feel... I've nearly forgotten my point now. Do
I
we
was
feel...
going to say, the cheap puns are the foundation of everything we do here.
It is. Do we feel this is the most obvious heel turn since Seth Rollins joining the Authority?
No.
Jack is doing a little...
Seth Rollins joining the Authority wasn't obvious.
I saw it coming. I think a lot of...
Congratulations,
I think a lot,
Nostra Simpkins, but I didn't.
I think a lot of people saw it coming as well, but Jack is just doing a little leprechaun dance regarding
obvious,
this.
It was obvious by this point, it was, but I saw it so early. I think I invented it and put it in their mind. They saw my tweets and they went, this kid's onto something.
Probably.
Let's turn him heel.
Yeah. Is that why you have a meeting in Stamford next week?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Let me know how it goes.
What we also have to bear in mind is that Ellsworth has a title match upcoming.
On Tuesday, no less.
It's on Tuesday. Has it been confirmed that it's on Tuesday?
Yeah,
is
they
it?
did it on Talking Smack.
I
To be
liked his
fair,
thing on Talking
his
Smack.
thing on Talking
It was
Smack was
funny.
fun. Like, because he reasoning was he wanted to fight AJ for the belt because he thought that was
'Cause
probably
he's got
better because he's beaten AJ a bunch of times.
clever, he's got
so
his
he's
number.
delusional. Like he's pretty sure he's got his number,
And I loved when he went-
he's offered Dean Ambrose
Yeah.
the first shot.
I'm gonna to pay him back for how nice he's been. I'm gonna give him the first shot when I win the belt. but that would be great if it was lower down the card. If it was in a storyline lower down the card. Yeah, I don't really want to see that for the WWE Championship, the best belt ever in the history of wrestling ever.
The
sorry,
one with 50
sorry,
odd
NWA
years.
fans, but yeah.
The one with 50 odd years worth of history
Yeah,
behind
yeah,
it.
Also, his reasons didn't make sense because he originally came out and his coming out
Nothing wrong with that.
distracted. All right, Jack. His entering the arena, that was a distraction that stopped AJ winning the belt in the first place.
Oh, so you could have just let
So
him
he
do
could
it.
have just stayed backstage.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Oh, that's
Yeah,
silly.
well, he was up the ladder, and it was just like, wait, why is AJ stopped? And it's because he saw Ellsworth coming down the ramp.
Oh,
so,
that's
so it doesn't make sense. It
fitting
doesn't make
the-
any sense.
That's fitting the spot around the storyline rather than the other way around. No, the other way around. That's fitting the storyline around one bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No.
Where does Dean Ambrose go from here?
Oh, it's really.
Away from
He
the belt.
has half a case for a rematch.
So a definite case for a rematch.
But do we really want to see Styles versus Ambrose one more time?
No. I'd
No.
quite like to see Ambrose kicking the piss out of Ellsworth every week. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I want to see him turn heel again, but there's a lot of heels around at the minute. It's
Who's
kind
the
of
face? Yeah.
yeah. But at some point soon, if they get more faces involved, I want to see him as a heel. I miss him as a
Who the
heel.
hell does Ambrose fight?
I love him as. I know. There's no one. Bray.
No, because they're busy.
No, because they're busy.
Unless you make the tag belts not mean anything.
Oh yeah. Who does he wrestle?
Maybe he
Miz.
goes over to Raw.
No, maybe Miz, but
This is genuinely tough.
Well, left him a
Baron
little bit.
Corbin.
Yeah, I can
That's
see that
certainly
one,
a big
actually. Yeah, I
shift
can see
up
that
for
one.
Corbin.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Jey Uso.
Yeah,
Just the
They
one.
hate
Jimmy's
each other.
busy.
They hate each other. Yeah.
Let's keep an eye on how things go over on SmackDown. Now, normally we would do a Q&A, but since it's a surprise podcast, I only have 3 questions for you, gentlemen.
sure.
The first question being, there is now a big gap between pay-per-views for SmackDown. They have 9 weeks to wait for their next pay-per-view, which is
Wow.
the Royal Rumble. Are they going to do some form of grandiose big SmackDown maybe at the start of the new year, where all the championships are defended? Do they do something like that to sort of take away the fact that they've booked themselves into this situation?
You need to make AJ Styles look amazing. So I think he should be, basically, once his thing with Ellsworth is done, Ellsworth somewhere else, probably feuding with Ambrose. Lord help us. It is going to be Ambrose versus Ellsworth, and Ellsworth is going to bring in a bodyguard or something.
Yeah, but do you think there'll be a super show?
I think there should be, and I think AJ should get a really, really, really good title defense
Could be like
before
could
Taker.
be like a night of AJ. We fights like 3 people throughout the course of the night.
That'd be nice.
Beats them all.
Yeah, like for example, if he wants to fight Taker, like if it's his choice, I want Taker, and like they make him earn it by
Earn it.
Yeah, can he
That's-
bear that responsibility?
I don't know. I hope he doesn't get buried.
Well,
That-
he's phenomenal after all. So
Shovels.
More puns.
good stuff.
More puns.
Druids.
That does bring me on to my next point. Question number 2. With Styles now beating Ambrose, and let's be honest, he's going to beat Ellsworth. Isn't he?
Oh God, he better.
Does this officially mean that Styles versus Undertaker is confirmed for the Royal Rumble?
It doesn't mean that until they confirm it. But
Should they do it though?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Will
I
it be-
think that would be amazing.
Will it be for the title?
Yes, I think that would also be amazing.
Will Undertaker win the title?
I think he should. Look, it depends. This all depends on whether or not it's Undertaker's last WrestleMania. I know he's already come out and said, I don't want to be defined by WrestleMania. But
Bit late for that.
I think that might just be to set up the Royal Rumble. I think if you announce it's his last Mania, I've said it so many times, but if you announce it's his last Mania, then he should absolutely, I think he should go into that with the championship. I think fans would want to see it.
We're all under the impression that he's going to go out of that WrestleMania with a win. So if it is his last one, he will retire as champion if that's
Will
if
he?
you're going
Will he
off.
win his last match?
If you're going,
He's too old school. He wouldn't want to do it. He's too old school.
he's
it's
such a
something like-
rare exception though.
Yeah, it is. It
You
is.
don't know, and that is what would make it interesting. And Cena would be the perfect opponent because Cena's got that story. You don't like. I could see Undertaker beating Cena, or I could see Cena beating the Undertaker.
Considering
It'd be a brilliant main
considering
event.
Taker already gave the streak to the WWE, I think the WWE can repay him in kind by giving him the last match.
That's a point that actually Adam made one time on a video called
Correct.
"How WWE Should Book
The Undertaker's retirement.
the Undertaker's Retirement," and I agreed. It was a very good point. It's it's as you say, Joe. It's a very rare exception.
I actually totally agree with how it should have been done had Cena not been injured. Just to point that out, had Cena not been injured last year,
Would it been his Undertaker?
That was picture perfect booking.
Yeah, that was really good.
You.
I'm paying you a compliment.
You're really good.
And my final question,
Really, so you should do videos about it.
Thank you, man.
with sound effects.
High five.
We always high five on audio podcasts.
Thanks, Jack.
That was not an authentic high five. Or was it? You'll never know. My final question has absolutely nothing to do with TLC.
Okay.
Have you seen or heard the news from Japan this weekend regarding
Is this your
NXT?
second question?
No, this is my third. My
Second
third.
one was about
My second one was
WrestleMania.
Take, and my first one was the big gap between pay-per-views. My third and final question is: what are your opinions on Shinsuke Nakamura winning back the NXT Championship in Osaka?
It didn't come as a huge surprise.
Really?
He shouldn't have lost it in the first place.
I think. Well, it's like.
Are you about to tell me that you saw this one coming and that it was obvious, and then I have to ridicule you like you did to me earlier on?
I didn't ridicule you. I simply disagreed with you. It's friendly discourse, man. I didn't. It didn't really bother me one way or the other, which I feel really, really bad about. But like, and I don't know, because it goes against what I said about Sasha and Charlotte. If I'd seen the match, it probably would have been huge. But finding out about stuff on Twitter, it kills.
It's awful.
It kills my buzz. I didn't care. Like, it was a shocking news, and I cared, I guess, a bit more when Joe beat Finn Balor at a house show. But I just don't like finding out exciting results.
Does this set up one final match between Joe and Nakamura at San Antonio the night before the Rumble?
Yeah, probs copters.
It's got to have a stipulation in though, and no holds barred seems too plain, and you can't do a steel cage because Joe did that with Finn. So, do you do a lot? Can you really do a ladder match? Considering you did a ladder match with Kevin Owens and
Do the first ever Hell in a Cell.
you could.
Iron
match
Man.
I would be more inclined to say is the Iron Man match.
Yeah.
One.
Do you give them 30 or 60 minutes?
I give him 60.
Whoa. Those matches are, man, they're long. They're long ass
But
matches.
considering there's only 5 matches on an NXT card.
Samoa Joe's match with Sami Zayn went 45 minutes.
Samoa Joe's had a
and that was
5-star
great.
60-minute match.
He has.
Against Mr.
Phil Brooks.
CM Punk. Yeah, that's right.
So
But he was a younger man then.
Nakamura has had multiple 5-star matches that have gone extremely long.
Yeah,
so
he's alright.
They can go.
He'll be pretty knackered, Mora, though. High five, Jack. Thanks, man.
And on that wonderful punny note, first I'd like to apologise. I've been a bit of a dick to you guys this
No, you've
episode
not.
of the
It's
Special
alright.
Podcast.
Don't worry about it,
If you don't
man.
like puns, I understand, but you have to understand punny is money. Right, Jack?
Stop it.
Thanks, man.
Stop working the high five.
I suppose it's all banter. It's all banter.
I'm not
isn't it?
clapping, you're high-fiving me, aren't you? High-five me if you agree. Hey, somehow we did 2 there.
10.
10,
I-
high 10. 10.
10.
Find me on Twitter, Jack_the_jobber.
I'd like to apologise for not having video for this podcast. Blame the wonderful Ben Potter, who is still lingering in the back of this
Why are you
podcast.
still here, Ben?
I need you in a minute.
What?
I need you for a thing in a minute.
Why do you need me?
To film a thing,
Oh, we're doing another thing.
a sex thing.
Oh, cool.
As Jack politely mentioned, you can find him on Twitter at Jack_the_jobber. You can find me on Twitter at the Joe Simkins.
I'm at Jack_the_jobber. the idea that someone's listening to this and doesn't already follow me on Twitter is nuts, frankly.
You could always help me.
Yeah, cool. At Jack_the_jobber.
I'm Joe from WhatCulture.com, and we will see you soon.
Bye. Is it an unboxing?